This is Liz.
This is Jade.
And this is Carly.
And we are the Babes. We're covering all things babies, parenting, and women's issues. Join us in all of our TMI Girl Chats. And when a topic needs an expert, we promise to bring you the best.
Our podcast is an inclusive, no judgment zone, no mommy shaming here. We're diving into the nitty gritty of real life as we get honest about the highs and the lows of motherhood.
If you hear a baby or a husband crying in the background during this episode, it probably means we just corked a bottle of wine and we were hiding in our closets. Oh, you too? Well, this is episode 16.
17.
17. Welcome to
Babes and Babies.
You guys, this is what no sleep does to you.
When you're running on baby time.
When you're running on baby time, every episode is just the previous episode or the future episode or the episode you're on now.
I also just feel like time has flied since we've been doing this. So
It's
totally.
crazy.
I mean, I didn't have a baby yet, you guys.
Yeah, that's
and now
weird.
she's sitting right next to me because Evan's not here to take care of her while I'm podcasting. So really, if you hear two screaming babies, we have Emmy here and we have Bella here. And they're also best friends and it's adorable.
oh, that is so adorable.
It is so cute because last time they were together, they really didn't recognize each other. And now they're so into each other and they smile and talk. We're like, what are you saying? They're communicating.
It's so
They're
cute.
speaking code about you guys.
I know.
Oh, gosh. They're like, oh, our moms now both have beautiful, luscious, long hair.
Oh,
Jade and
yeah,
I just
so-
got beautiful hair extensions.
Yes, Carly, your photos look amazing. And you were saying before that you hated your
you.
short hair. How do you feel?
I know. Oh, my God. I feel like a million, trillion, billion times better. And, here's the thing. So I'm getting a lot of flack on social media for putting extensions in my hair because everyone liked my short hair. And here's the thing. I really appreciate that people loved my short hair. And there are moments that I also loved my short hair. But I feel better with long hair. And I feel like people should appreciate that I feel
Yeah.
better. So they should be happy that I feel better.
Yeah, girl, you got to do what you got to
Right?
do for you.
Yeah, I want to feel sexy. I want to have no shirt on and have my hair cover my boobies. And be like,
Yes.
hello, I am a mermaid.
I'm
Like-
so sad. I've never been able to do that.
Her hair is like almost down to her butt. She's definitely got the
It's
mermaid hair.
amazing. And
It
Evan
looks amazing.
loves it. He used to be like, I hate extensions, and he's like, holy crap, you look
He's
so
like, wait a
hot."
second.
Yes. And so it's all good.
All men act like they hate hair extensions, but they really actually love them deep down because we look better.
We do, and we feel really good.
Tanner always used to be like, oh, I like natural beauty. I like natural beauty. And then I would see all the Instagram accounts of girls he would follow. I'm like, you like natural beauty? That girl has this, and this done. I'm like, you call that
No,
natural
I
beauty?
know.
Yeah,
I know.
It's
I'm like,
ridiculous.
you think you like it.
Carly, I have a question because, now that you're feeling a little sexual with your hair, a couple weeks ago we
Oh.
said that we were going to have a sex intervention. If you had not had sex yet, have you had sex?
Dun, 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 dun. I have.
Yeah!
I mean, you guys, it was only one time, but that was because Evan left he went to Hangout Fest.
Oh, yeah.
Also, I encourage all of the girlfriends and wives out there to let your guy have some guy time. I think it's really important
Yeah.
for your relationship, for your independence to let guys have that time because then they come back and they miss you so much. Oh my gosh, by the way, I'm going on a tangent here, but I had this wall pic of Bella that was in my bathroom and I was looking around for it because I was going to give it to my mom. And I'm like, where is this wall pic? This is so odd. It disappeared. And I'm like, Evan, did you take my wall pic to Gulf Shores? And he's like, I did.
Oh, he took it to the festival.
Yes, and I was like, you're so cute. You took that cute picture of Bella. But anyway, so we did it the night before he left and then he was gone. So I couldn't really do it while he wasn't there. But you know what's crazy is that I forgot, it didn't really hurt. It by the end it felt really great. And I was surprised at how easy it was to get back in the game.
There you go.
Yeah. I mean, I did have a drink before that helped me rip off the Band-Aid. But what's really funny is I was in the bathtub and Evan turns out the light in the room. And I'm like, hey, Evan, are you going to sleep? And he's like, oh, yeah. And I go, well, I thought we were going to hang out. And then
he like grabs me when we get in bed. And the next day I was like, that was so nerdy. I was like, want to hang out? And he goes, I caught your drift. I was like, yes. I felt like the biggest dork. It was so funny.
That's so cute though.
Yeah. So sorry, Evan. I'm telling the world, but it was fantastic. He's good, you guys.
We are proud of you.
Thank you. I'm proud of
myself. We forgot to tell everyone what we're talking about today.
Yes.
Real quick. So we are doing a Memorial Day episode. We're having a couple of amazing guests on. One is Deshauna Barber. She is ex-military and was a Miss USA. And then, Jade, what do you want to talk about the second guest?
Yeah, and today we're also having Abby Knapp Morris on, who is a military wife. Her husband, Mike, was actually killed in action in Afghanistan. And so for this Memorial Day episode, she's coming on to share their story and his story to honor him. And she also has a little girl that I think was like 9 months old when he passed. And so we just kind of want to honor him and just get a little bit insight into what it's like to actually be in the military lifestyle.
We wanted to bring on some women that had military experience or that's close to their heart, just to kind of pay a little tribute to our troops today. But yeah, before we get into that, so you guys are in Arizona right now, right?
Yes. Also, I just realized Bella has the poopiest diaper. I was like, I smell something, and then I realized it's real nasty over
She
here.
just like showed me. She like opened like the side of the diaper. She's like,
look at this.
It's poopy.
And she's just smiling at me like, look what I did, Mom.
She's like, I feel so much better.
So I'm going to have to change that in a minute.
Oh, bless you.
Oh, bless you, Bella. Did you hear that little sneeze? That was really cute.
It was so adorable. Well, we're all on the West Coast, which is crazy. We're normally all on Central Time.
Yeah.
Now we're all in the West. I'm in Vegas, and I actually really miss it. I love Vegas, guys. It's an amazing city.
Really?
I'm seeing like all my friends, and Chicago's just been a hard adjustment for me. But I love Chicago too. But Vegas is better.
Sorry,
Vito
Chicago.
will never move.
Yeah.
We'll never leave.
Maybe one day. Or Chicago will just become so much like home that you can't even imagine being anywhere else.
That's what
we'll
I
hope
think
for
it
that.
will happen.
Moving
Yes.
is such a hard adjustment, though, because when I moved to Kansas City, I've been there almost, it'll be 3 years in September. It took me 2 years to finally feel like it was home.
Yeah.
It's just hard. So.
Yeah. Did you have a hard time when you moved to Nashville, Carly?
Well, I had a hard time after Jade abandoned me when we moved together. It's funny because Jade knew, I don't even know how you knew him, but she knew a guy out there, and he had like a group of girlfriends that became my friends. So really, Jade introduced me to this group of girls who are still my friends. And so I didn't have that hard of adjustment because I was so welcomed into this like friend group.
That's awesome.
And I don't know. I think I was like so excited about the newness of it. I mean, I was going out and partying all the time, which I like can't even believe is my life because wow, how different is that? But I didn't. But I have been away from my family and from Dallas for so long. I mean, I was on cruise ships for years. I lived in LA and New York and Savannah and Oklahoma. Like I've lived all these places that being away is like the norm to me now.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I think the hardest part for me moving to Kansas City was it was after the show. So it was just like weird because sorry guys, my daughter.
She looks so cute, by the way, when she's doing that.
But it's just, I moved to the suburbs and I had never lived that suburb life.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
It was like so weird and I felt isolated out there. And I was like, this is not my style of
How
living.
do you feel about it now?
Well, because we kind of live in the country now,
Right.
and we have the horses. That's how I grew up. So I have that familiarity.
Yeah.
But you guys, Emerson is teething hardcore. So her teeth finally broke, her bottom two teeth finally broke through her gums. And last night she finally slept, but the night before she literally did not sleep like a wink.
It's really sad.
Up all night, just crying. It was just awful, but they're razor sharp. I didn't
really
know, because like our teeth are dull, you know?
Right.
Because they're flat. When they come through, they're like razors. I feel so bad. I know. It's like really, it's so funny because I always talk about how emotional I am, but it's really emotional for me because I've been waiting for her teeth forever and now they're coming through and it just means she's growing up. And I'm like, wait.
I know,
now
it's weird.
You don't feel like a baby to me anymore.
I mean, Emerson and Bella were so small the last time they hung out. And now, I mean, they're still so small, but they're way bigger so small. Oh, they're so cute, you guys. I wish everyone could see them right now because they're really cute. Even though Bella's diaper is super poopy, which I should actually go change before we get these guests on.
Yeah. As new moms, Carly and I are super conscious of the products that we keep in our houses, which is why we love Grove Collaborative. Grove sells only the best non-toxic products, so when I shop on their website, I'm confident that I'm selecting the items that are good for me, my family, and the planet.
Seriously, after Evan and I had Bella, we didn't want our girl coming into any contact with harsh chemicals and decided together to make the switch to all-natural products. At first, I thought it might be a pain, but Grove makes it a breeze. Not only does it have the brands that we already trusted, like Burt's Bees and 7th Generation, but everything they sell is vetted to be the best all-natural products around.
I actually opened the door last week to my latest order and can't tell you enough about the Mrs. Meyer's Radish All-Purpose Cleaner. The scent is to die for, and honestly, it just makes my house feel amazing.
If you haven't already tried Grove, you just have to today. Babes and Babies listeners who sign up get an amazing $30 Miss Meyer's gift set, a free 60-day VIP membership, and a bonus gift just from us when you sign up and place an order of $20 or more. Check out Grove and the Babes and Babies special offer at grove.co/babes. That's grove.co, not com/babes.
Perfect.
Okay, so
well, you go change a poopy diaper, and we will get Deshauna on the phone.
amazing.
Yay! All right, we are going to bring Deshauna Barber on, who was in the United States Army, who broke a lot of glass ceilings in her life. Super smart woman, a motivational speaker, was in the Teen USA, or not teen, I think Miss USA. But we are going to have her on to share her story with us.
Yeah, she won Miss USA 2016. And she was the first person in the military to ever win a title, which I think is so cool.
That is awesome.
She also has the most flawless skin I've ever seen.
She's so beautiful.
She's so beautiful. It's like absolutely ridiculous.
I know, I was creeping on her Instagram earlier, and I was like, I actually went and put blush on before we got on this because she looked so beautiful. And I always look like a hot mess, and I went and put some blush on. I'm like, she's going to see my face.
That's so funny.
Meanwhile, Jade and I have long hair now, but we have our makeup on from yesterday.
I haven't even brushed my hair today.
I haven't either.
Yeah, but it looks flawless, so you good.
You good girl.
I woke up like this. Literally. Okay, let's get Deshauna on.
Hello?
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. It's been a long day. Miss USA was yesterday night.
Oh,
actually, so
it was?
Wow. It was, yeah. Nebraska won. It's the first time
Oh my
Nebraska's won
gosh.
Miss USA ever.
Two of us are from Nebraska.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
That's awesome. My mom was born in Omaha and raised in Nebraska.
No
Okay.
way. That's
So I've got a
so
small
cool.
connection with the state. I've got a small connection
Yeah.
with it.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for taking the time today to meet with us. We're super excited to hear a bit of your story and to be able to share it with our listeners.
Oh, no problem. Thank you all for thinking of me. And I'm glad you all had a chance to kind of message or Carly message Lindsay, because I'm so bad with my Instagram DMs because I get so many.
So you come from a military family, right?
I do. My sister or my mother and my father were both served in the U.S. military, and they were both stationed at Fort Benning when they met. And that's actually where I was born. And then after high school, my brother, my sister, and myself both decided to join after high school.
Oh, wow.
That's amazing.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. It's definitely been a blessing. I think it's brought us all together. If I have questions or things along those lines, it's good to be able to call any one of them and be able to ask questions. I'm the last one left, and my sister and my brother both got out 2 years ago. So I'm like my dad's last hope at this point. He actually did 21 years. So
Wow.
he's looking for his kids to stay in and retire and all that. So I'm literally his last hope at this point.
Okay,
Oh
so
my
you are
gosh.
still active in the Army.
I am, yes. I was a commander, but I gave up my command 2 months ago. I had been a commander for 3 years, so we already had our change of command ceremony and all that. So now I'm actually transitioning to being a cadre member at Howard University. I'm going to be teaching the cadets. I'm just going to do one class a week, and that's going to count as like my drill.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yes, I'm excited. It's a special assignment, so it's cool to kind of break out of like that unit atmosphere and be on the teaching side of the house. So I'm excited for that mostly just because it's very different in terms of what I've been doing the past 7 years. It's definitely a shift and a change.
Well, you are just like a super accomplished woman. I mean, you have your master's degree, you're did the Miss USA, you're we're a commander in the Army, and you also are a motivational speaker.
Yes, I am.
How do you balance all of that?
Well, during my time as Miss USA, it was kind of hard, but the good thing is that the Miss Universe organization was so for the whole military thing, and then the military was so for the Miss USA thing that they both really worked hand in hand together. We actually had people from USARC, which is United States Army Reserve Command. We had 5, 2 majors and 3 colonels come up from Fort Bragg, North Carolina to meet with the Miss Universe organization like a month after I was crowned so that they could kind of coordinate, work out schedules, work out a lot of PR details. She could say this, but she can't say that. Just to make sure that they're both on the same page, being the fact that I was in such a public eye. So it was nice to be able to see them all sit down and say, listen, we're in this together, and let's figure out how to make this happen. So Miss Universe organization also made sure that I could fulfill my commitment to the military, which is just 2 days a month. So they always made sure to leave 2 days a month open for me to go down to Maryland and be with my unit and train. So that was really, really, really nice. And then in terms of motivational speaking, I'm signed to IMG Speakers. I signed as Miss USA, but couldn't actually literally sign the contract until after I had given up my crown. So I actually signed the contract the day after I gave up my crown last year. So I've been really just going around the entire country, just speaking about really cool things like leadership. I've had terrible experience with child sexual abuse, so I go around and talk about that topic. I talk about post-traumatic stress disorder, mental illness in the military, leadership, diversity and inclusion. It's kind of just a combination of different topics based on life experience. So that's been really, really, really awesome. And my unit's been really dedicated and focused on making sure that they could use the brands to be able to show that you can be in the Army and do other things, which your life is not, it doesn't have to be active duty and full time. So I'm glad that they've been able to kind of help me expand on that. And right now, I never went back to work. When I was crowned Miss USA, I was working for the Department of Commerce as an IT analyst. So I actually thought I was going to go back to a 9-to-5. And then I was like, you know what, let's just try being a full-time entrepreneur and see how it goes. Yeah. So it's actually been going really, 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 really
Yay!
Well. So thankful. It was a step and a leap of faith because I've been working a 9-to-5 since 2011. So it's been, a transition for me to have to worry about the more work you put into it, the more money you get out of it. And honestly, the more joy you get out of it. So it's been really cool to be able to not have to go back to a 9-to-5 and sustain my life based on what I'm doing in terms of speaking engagement. So it's been nice.
How did you get involved in doing pageants?
It's an interesting story. I started when I was 19 years old. So again, I come from a military family, so we don't compete in pageants.
That's funny. That's so funny. I love it.
It's so random because like culturally, my family is just not something that we do. So I was actually working in Target between my freshman and sophomore year in college. And I was folding clothes with a friend. I was a salesperson. And a lady walked up to me. Her name was Leslie. And she actually said, "You look like you could be the next Miss USA."
Stop it. I just got chills.
It's crazy, right? And this was back in 2009. Yeah, it was the summer of 2009. And I laughed at her hysterically because I'm like, who is this crazy lady? So she convinced me to meet her at Starbucks the next day, which I did. I was clearly very open-minded young girl. I met her at Starbucks the next day and she convinced me to enter into my first pageant, which I did. And I became obsessed. And that's what happened. She literally said, "You could be the next Miss USA." And I thought she was crazy.
Oh my gosh, man.
But yet she prophesied over your life.
She did.
It was so crazy. And you know what's so sad about the whole story is that in June of 2015, she passes away from leukemia.
Oh, man.
Wow.
And then in December of 2015, I win Miss District of Columbia, USA. And then in June of 2016, I won Miss USA. So it's just, I know she's an angel and she's shining down, looking over my life. But I always wish that she could have been there to see what that one conversation did to transform my life.
Yeah.
That single conversation, I always think to myself, what if my boss had put me on a different shift, or what if she didn't walk down that particular aisle? I would have never been exposed to the thought of being Miss USA. It would have taken someone like her who's persistent and very convincing. It would have taken someone like that to really be able to push me to do it, because I thought she was crazy. I really did. So it was a beautiful thing that people can enter your life, even for however so long, and one thing they can say to you can completely transform your life. I'm just a big believer in destiny and fate, and certain doors that are meant to happen, and that kind of places us in our purpose. So I'm always thankful for her and that one single conversation.
Gosh.
Yeah, that's amazing. So I have a question for you. So through the Miss USA, I know you've been kind of an advocate for veterans. I know that's kind of special and close to your heart. And I just wanted to ask you if you wanted to share anything about that, since this is kind of our Memorial Day episode.
Oh, yeah. So, it's interesting because when we talk about veterans and post-traumatic stress disorder and mental illness in the military, it runs so deep for me. And I think that when I first started competing in pageants, I knew that I wanted to make it my platform and make it my purpose, because I experienced it directly with my family members and with the soldiers that I've worked with, they've literally come back with these hidden scars. They're not, actual physical scars, and people treat them as if they're not as important. In terms of them not actually being visible to the naked eye. So I've always been a huge advocate for making sure that we think about mental illness, we think about post-traumatic stress disorder, we think about the homeless rate, and how a lot of the people that are homeless are veterans that are actually suffer from internal issues. So I feel like as a country, we really have to do better at making sure that we take care of our soldiers when they return from deployments. And take care of them when it comes to assaults and things along those lines, and how that really does mess with their psyche. I think we're really, really, really lacking on that, being the fact that there's 20 to 22 veterans a day that commit suicide, that it's such a huge issue. And it's a huge issue in the military as well, which is why I was happy to come out and talk about it, because I think there's such a stigma placed on mental illness. And in the military, you're taught to be tough, like you're taught to lock things in. You want to always appear to be strong. Right. And you're not always willing as a soldier to go to your chain of command and say, hey, I've been having dreams, or I've been angry, I've been drinking excessively, I've been smoking excessively. I feel like as soldiers, we don't seek help, because we think that by seeking help, we're automatically placed in a category of being weak, when that's not the case. So as Miss USA, and still now to this day, I still do a lot of work with different organizations like Operation Homefront, the USO, and IAVA, and all these organizations that are focused on taking care of our veterans. And I like to be someone that I think of myself as someone that kind of straddles both sides of the line, where I'm on the civilian side, obviously as a reservist, but I'm also someone that's in the public eye as Miss USA. Yes. And then I'm a soldier, so I can relate to both things. And I put myself in a position where I'm on, shows like Good Morning America and Steve Harvey and TD Jakes and Ellen DeGeneres and all these different shows that I've had a chance to really be able to voice my opinion. And they're not looking at me not only as a soldier and she's just a soldier, they're looking at me as Miss USA. And I feel like that holds a little bit more weight for people that are looking for a reason to jump up and take action.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Father's Day is just around the corner. Are you guys trying to find the perfect gift for Father's Day? If you are, you should try Omaha Steaks. Evan loves to grill, right?
Oh my gosh, Evan is legitimately obsessed with grilling. It's his favorite thing to do now. We had Omaha Steaks the other night, and the kids were freaking out about how good these steaks taste.
You guys, it's so convenient. They're hand trimmed, flash frozen, and they come sealed directly to you, right to your door in an Omaha Steaks cooler. And you guys, not only do they do steaks, they actually do other things. So Tanner and I tried their pork chops, and they were incredible. They do pork, poultry, veal, lamb, bison, seafood, and vegetables.
You can also customize your orders. So you don't just have to get a bunch of steaks. You get to pick whatever you want to get delivered to your door. But right now, Omaha Steaks is giving a limited time offer to our listeners for Father's Day at 78% off. This is really an amazing deal. So go to omahasteaks.com and type in babes in the search bar, and you can get this Omaha Steaks Father's Day package, which includes 2 tender filet mignons, 2 beefy top sirloins, 4 chicken fried steaks, and 2 boneless pork chops, 4 all beef Omaha steak burgers, 4 gourmet jumbo franks, 12 ounces of all beef meatballs, 1 pound of steakhouse fries, 4 caramel apple tartlets, 1 Omaha steak seasoning packet, plus get 4 more grill ready Omaha steak burgers free with your purchase. That is such a deal. Again, this is a limited time package for only $49.99.
I'm so hungry now.
I know. So go to omahasteaks.com and type babes in the search bar and add Father's Day package to your cart. Do not wait because this offer is going to end soon. So go to omahasteaks.com, type babes in the search bar, and grab your dad or husband and fire up the grill. How about, I guess, like, being a woman in the military? I know that there's just a lot of, you hear so many different things about that, and you don't know necessarily like what's true, what's not. I mean, there's definitely, do you feel like there was different treatment, or how was that experience for you?
When I won Miss USA or prior?
No, just like, I guess being in the Army, like as a woman.
Being in the Army as a woman is hard. And I think that as time goes on, it gets easier because I see the military as an organization that's progressing, especially being the fact, and that's why the whole on-stage question in 2016, where they integrated women into all branches in the military and pushed back, like special forces and armed forces branches, which I thought was a great was one of the best things that the military could do to really remove that discrimination that's been placed on women when it comes to what we quote unquote believe they're capable of doing. It's very hard to be able to say, oh, a woman's not capable of going through special forces and making it through the training. Well, how do we know if y'all have never actually allowed us the opportunity to do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always believe that the military is an organization that is progressing. They're starting to be more accepting of not only gender, they're being more accepting of not only women in the military, but even different religions, transgender community, the LGBTQ community. I think that it's an organization that is very old school and is structured to be old school, but I see a lot of progression in that way. But being a woman in the military to me is very difficult because, again, at times you do have discrimination. It's the same thing that we're talking about women in the workplace, and discrimination against salary and things along those lines and pay equality. So the military to me is kind of the same thing where you're dealing with a male dominated industry, and automatically you're a woman, you represent that 7-8% of the population of the military, and you have to deal with certain things where you're having to deal with sometimes the male ego, and there's always, no matter
oh man, we all know about that one.
ego can be strong, but what's crazy is that no matter what organization you go to, there's going to be bad apples. I recognize that, so I will say that if the military was that bad, I would have gotten out a long time ago. So I try to keep that in mind, that there's been more good experiences than bad experiences. But I do recognize that there is a lot of bad experiences at times because I'm a woman. Not only am I a woman, I'm a Black woman. So that's an even smaller population of the amount of that category that's represented. And then not only that, I just won Miss USA. So now that adds to the glam and the stereotypes and, oh gosh, she's just a girly girl. And now she's putting the uniform on. So people assume that you just can't do both, which is very frustrating. So it's just weird. And I think that that's what comes with the military is you dress so modestly, you wear really baggy clothes and things along those lines. And it seems to me like they forget that there's a woman's body under this uniform. And when they see it, they're like, whoa, like, really a woman. Like, wow, you have a body. Yeah, I really am a woman.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, so it's interesting.
Well, you've definitely overcome a lot of obstacles in your life. And is that kind of, I guess, like your motivational speaking message that you deliver to people? What is like something that you want to leave them with?
So there's a few things, but I've always been a big believer in overcoming hurdles and obstacles. I think that that's just what comes with life. Is lots of hurdles, lots of mountains that we have to climb. And I find it even a heavier topic when it comes to the military and our veterans and things that they're going through on a day-to-day, dealing with deployments and things along those lines. My sister, her husband actually is in the military. He's actually deploying next month. So you have myself and my family who's working hard, you know, with her having a 9-month-old and a 4-year-old. Okay, what do we need to do to get down there to support her? And make sure that she knows that we're there, we're able to help. So if anything, I not only want people to understand that it is difficult being in the military, but also keep in mind the military families that are also sacrificing when our veterans and our soldiers are going overseas to serve and protect the freedoms that we have here. I always want it to be clear that we understand that our life and the benefits that we have here in the United States is basically because of what the soldiers are doing and what our veterans are doing to make their sacrifices overseas and here stateside. So I always want people to do what they can, no matter what it is, whether it's a donation, you're volunteering with the USO, make sure at some point in time throughout, I'd say like every 3 months, you're doing something to support a bigger cause.
Yeah.
No matter what the cause is. And I know that this is a special that's dedicated towards Memorial Day. And I know that here I'm right next to Arlington Cemetery. Actually, there's a lot of people that volunteer to put wreaths and different decorations on a lot of the tombstones that are in the cemetery. So not only do I think that it's good to volunteer for things that you care about, like once or twice every 3 months, because I know people's schedules get built up, but also to consider doing volunteer work for organizations that benefit our military and our military families. I think that we owe that to them. So I'm always encouraging people to keep that in mind and to find some way, shape, or form to give back, since they're consistently giving back to us, you know? So that's what I do a lot, speaking of.
What, I guess if like for our listeners listening to this who maybe want to help out or want to get involved, but aren't sure how, what would be the best way for them, or what are some good organizations to get connected with?
I would say the best and ultimate organization that benefits the military and our military families evenly is the USO. So I think that that's always a great place to start. The USO, I think the website is uso.org. I think they're a wonderful place to start. Also, if someone is really, really, really focused on dealing with organizations that are focused on deployments and military families that are returning from deployments, Operation Homefront is really, 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 really good organization that I've worked closely with. I just did an event actually with Carnival Cruise Line in Operation Homefront. Carnival does a really awesome job at supporting our veterans. They had a really, really, really cool launch of a ship. That's actually, I'm the godmother of the ship, is Carnival Vista. We launched it
so
in,
cool.
Thank you. I get like free ship rides on Carnival Vista for the rest of my life.
Man,
so,
that's awesome.
I used to be a singer on cruise ships.
I heard it's really awesome.
It's really fun.
Oh, you used to be? Oh, you actually did?
I did for like years. Yeah, that was my life. Living on boats for like 7 to 9 months at a time.
That is really, really, really cool. Actually,
it was really fun. I saw the world for free, which is great.
Yeah, that's amazing. See, I don't know. I might need to change up my career. See what I need to do. But yeah, I love Carnival, and I think that I would start with USO and Operation Homefront just because they're the biggest organizations. They have a lot of sister organizations that they support locally. So you can also look at military families. Oh gosh, I forgot. They usually have local chapters. Let me see if I can Google them.
We can always, if you find it later, you can always send it to us. And we, after we post the episode, we leave up like a little information for people to connect further.
Oh, that would be perfect.
Yeah. But you have been so inspiring.
It's actually National Military Family Association. Okay.
Oh, perfect.
Amazing.
So usually they have different local chapters depending on your region. So if you guys just look up National Military Family Association, and it's actually militaryfamily.org, you should be able to find a local chapter that you could support. And they usually have different organizations, local organizations and local events that you can volunteer and do stuff at. So, yeah.
Amazing.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on here today. You have been very inspiring.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And, we were talking before you came on just about how gorgeous you are. And then after talking to you, it's like you have an amazing heart for people, which is amazing. And seriously, thank you so much for taking time out of your day. If people want to connect with you further, what is the best way to find you or connect with you?
There's a few ways. So my website is Deshauna.com. That's where you can go to look up events. If you want to book me, here, see my bio, things along those lines, just Deshauna.com. For social media wise, so Instagram, Facebook, and I don't really be on Twitter like that, but if someone wants to follow me on Twitter, all 3 social medias are at Deshauna Barber. And yeah, I think that's all 4 spaces. Yeah, I don't think there's any other. Yeah, just Deshauna. Oh, and then my YouTube channel. Gosh, I'm losing my mind. Yeah, my YouTube channel is Deshauna on YouTube. So
amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
We
for having me.
so appreciate you.
Thank you. And I definitely look forward to hearing the whole podcast full out. But thank you all so much for thinking of me. It means so much. And thank you for what you do for different families and bringing advice and stuff. When I have a kid, I'll be sure.
Come back on.
I will come back around. I'll look to you guys for a resource.
Awesome.
Thank you so
much.
much.
Have a good day.
All right. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, Jade and Liz, the FabFitFun Summer Box is here.
Yeah.
It's a seasonal subscription box for women to discover new products for a life well lived. FabFitFun delivers a box of full-size fashion, beauty, home and fitness, and wellness products. It's delivered 4 times a year for just $49.99 a box.
It's amazing.
I am obsessed with this box. It feels like Christmas 4 times a year. This summer box, I had to choose between the Summer and Rose beach towel and the Yumi Kim makeup case because this box is customizable. And there is like 5 different things you can customize this time. You get so much more in this box. Like, it's insane. This box is worth $320 this time. That's so crazy. And the box is only $49.
Yeah.
So also, it was one of the hardest decisions I've ever had to make in my life.
Yeah, they're both so cute too. I'm telling you, though, that Summer and Rose beach towel is so soft. We were in the pool the other day with Emmy, and I used it for her, and it was so soft on her little baby skin.
So cute.
Yeah.
Sign up for FabFitFun today to get your summer box. The FabFitFun Summer Box is in limited supply, and these boxes always sell out. Use our code BABES to get $10 off your first box. Go to fabfitfun.com to sign up and start getting the box for a life well lived. Use promo code BABES to get $10 off your first box. That's over $200 for over $39.99. Go to fabfitfun.com and use our code BABES to get $10 off your first FabFitFun box.
Okay, guys, so next we're going to have Abby come on and share her story of being a military wife and having her daughter and her husband who served our country. Hi.
Hi.
Can you see us? Thank you for doing this today.
Absolutely. Glad to.
Yeah.
Well, this is it's our special Memorial Day episode, and we just really wanted to have somebody come on to like share a story just to kind of pay tribute to people who have been in the military. And we heard your story, and we would love to share it. So thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah. Super proud of Mike and been through a lot these last 6 years. So love sharing about it.
So how, I guess, tell us a little bit about yourself. So you were, I guess, how are you involved with military stuff?
So I am a military widow. I was married at 22 to my first love out of college, and he went active duty. We got stationed up at Fort Lewis, Washington, and we had our first baby when we moved up there. Kinsley was 3 months old when Mike left for his third deployment. He had been deployed to Kosovo, Iraq in 2006, and then he deployed to Afghanistan in 2012. And so I was left back behind with my 3-month-old baby daughter to play single mom. It was supposed to be for just 12 months.
Yeah,
So,
wow. 3 deployments, that's crazy. So just to talk a little bit about like military life, what was like the biggest adjustments you guys had to make? So when you married, was he already in the military?
So he was in the National Guard. So he had deployed. He had done 2 deployments before we got married. One while we were engaged. He was deployed to Iraq while we were engaged. And when we got married, we decided active duty. We both loved to travel and loved to meet people and wanted to see the world together. So it was actually exciting for me. I loved the military lifestyle. Super easy to meet people and like lots of fun people that also love to travel. And we just made some awesome friends. I miss the military lifestyle a lot.
Yeah. Just because like none of us have, I guess Liz, you have some family that are in the military, but I don't know a lot about it. What is it like being a military wife?
So it is crazy. You're kind of like a single mom half the time. The military just kind of takes your husbands away whenever they want to. And so you just kind of learn, you have to be super independent and strong and tough and just kind of learn how to do things on your own and appreciate all the time when you do have with your husband. It was super fun. Like every time Mike would come home, it was like newly dating again. And it was just kind of like, I don't know, it had its sweet moments too, like the distance make the heart grows fonder, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved everything about being a military wife, actually. It was just always an adventure. You never knew what was coming up next.
Can you tell us a little bit about your birth of your daughter?
Yeah, actually, that was not easy. We had a crazy story. I got admitted at 29 weeks into the hospital.
Oh, no.
Oh, wow.
So Mike was supposed to deploy before she was born. I was due in October. He was deploying in October. But Kinsley came 2 months early. So she was 3 pounds. She was a little preemie.
Oh.
So it was like not ideal, but because of that, Mike was able to spend 2 months with her, whereas he was not even going to get to meet her before he deployed. So it was a God wink and given Mike a few precious months with her. But she was in the NICU for 6 weeks, and every single night Mike and I spent up there together. I spent all day up there in the NICU with her. But every night when Mike would get off work, he still had to work every day. But when he would get off, he spent every night up there till 9-10 o'clock, and then we'd go home together. And yeah, she got out of the hospital 1 week before he deployed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is kind of, you don't want to say like, oh, I'm so glad my daughter was born early because, we want them to stay in there as long as possible. But that really it does feel kind of like this God thing that he was able to have those moments with her.
Absolutely. Yeah, I look back now. So Mike was deployed for 6 months right before he was killed. And I look over those 6 months and everything he got to witness while he was deployed via Skype. We Skyped all the time. And he got to witness her crawling and just kind of witness his daughter growing up via Skype. And it was actually the day he was killed. She had just climbed up the stairs and it was just like such a happy day. And we got to have like the best conversation. So the situation for what it was, I look back and I think of all the blessings that we had.
That's amazing that you're able to do that, you know?
Yeah, you kind of have to, or man, I know some other gals in my same situation that are just struggling. And I'm like, girls, we just gotta like move forward and like be strong like we've always have been as military wives.
Yeah, when I was texting you last night, I could just tell you were like, yeah, I'd love to come on. I'm so proud of him. And I can just sense that from you that, you know, you're as hard as it is, I can tell even from this conversation in your face right now that you are so proud of him. I think that's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. No, he was a leader. So he was actually deployed up in the mountains of Afghanistan, right on the Pakistan border. And he was in charge of his unit up there. So he was the only one out at the guns that morning. All the other guys, they were in the middle of a firing mission. And so all of his guys were down in the bunker getting all the ammo when the rocket came into his base that morning. And he was the one out there prepping the guns, making sure they were all sighted, the big cannons when I say guns.
Okay.
And so he was the only one out there when the rocket came in. So he was the first one killed by the explosion and fire and everything. And then another one of his guys that came out was killed by the shrapnel and everything from the explosion and whatnot. So, man, there's been another widow with me through this whole experience and two other wives that their husbands were burned super bad in that experience. Wow. So the four of us have all kind of bonded together, especially in the first year, and really made sure each other was doing all right. That's just kind of what comes with the military family. You've got, you know, a network of people that are always taking care of you.
Yeah, you kind of hold on to each other because there's really no one else who can understand what you're going through, I feel like.
That is the key. Nobody understands. And my family's tried to understand. And my sisters really tried to understand and help me. And it's like, they don't they can't really put themselves in my shoes. Like I was 26 when I lost Mike.
Yeah, I can't imagine. What do you guys do? I know you said you're going to Arlington for Memorial Day weekend to see where he's buried. Do you guys have any special like traditions or do anything to kind of remember him and let his legacy live on? Or
Right, we do. We used to do a lot bigger things back when we all lived in Kansas. Moved to Las Vegas 3 years ago. So all of our family's still back in Kansas. And so we used to do a run in memory of him. So we all still kind of have our T-shirts that we'll all put on May 18th and that all have Mike's picture on them to remember him and do runs. And Kinsley and I always take a really cool thing to put on the back of Mike's headstone up in Arlington. So she'll draw him a picture and we'll write, she has his favorite memory verse that just kind of encourages her. We write that and put some pictures and we'll laminate that and put that on the back of his tombstone up there in Arlington. And she'll write him a letter and send it away on a balloon to heaven to, you know, just a little, always remembering Daddy. She's 6 years old now. So she understands it a lot more, the sacrifice their dad has made.
For, I guess, if there's anybody listening to this who has been in this situation, you know, or is a military widow or their husbands are deployed and that's something that they are scared of, like, what would be like a message that you'd want to leave for them or any advice that you'd want to share with them?
Right. Well, we know we're all strong women. If we are military wives, we're going to get through things. And man, just cling to your friends and create a community. Like that is what has gotten me through everything is my community of friends, my community of widows, my church community. It's just been like, don't ever like single yourself out. Just make sure you're around people and people that will build you up. And that has been my saving grace through everything has just been the people around me.
Yeah, that's awesome. So now you said you're in Vegas and your daughter's 6. What is life like now for you?
So it is, I came out here to go to Christian school. I decided I wanted to do international missions. I've been going overseas a lot, working with underprivileged kids. life's short is what I've realized through all of this. So I just want to encourage and build up people everywhere. So moved to Vegas 3 years ago, joined a singles group out here, not sure what was in my future. Met an amazing Marine, and we actually got married a year ago.
Oh, congratulations.
Congrats.
Yeah, he understands. He was actually in Iraq the same time my late husband was there in 2006. They did not know each other, but he understands everything I've been through, and he's confident enough to like handle my situation. So he goes with me everywhere, and he is super proud about Mike's story. And he loves my daughter, Kinsley, which is what I wanted for her more than anything, was a dad figure in her life. So, he's an awesome guy and never been married, like no kids. It's just an easy transition in life. And so I met him right away, and super blessed. So Vegas is like a new starting point for us. We love it out here, the amazing people we've met out here. And, gonna see what God has in store. Have no idea, but we're embracing every moment.
That's amazing. I lived in Vegas for 11 years, and I just recently moved, and I just came back to visit. And I always say, like, Vegas is such an amazing city, and the connections and the friendships that I made there and developed are like my heart. They're my people.
They are. So when I moved here, I was like, this is like military lifestyle, because nobody's from here, it seems.
Right.
So everybody is like looking for community and making friends. And so that's what Vegas reminds me of, like a military community where people are really welcoming and accepting. And I have like a ton of friends out here, and life is just like super fun and great people.
That's amazing. That's awesome that you found that. And you also kind of stuck with the military life, you know?
I did. So, he is a former Marine, but he still we still do a lot of military stuff out here, actually. So Kinsley received scholarships from Folded Flag Foundation because her father was killed in Afghanistan. So she will receive her private schooling paid for and her college paid for.
That's
because
amazing.
of that. And they're based here in Las Vegas. So they have so many amazing opportunities for us. Like the founder of Folded Flag Foundation owns our new hockey team, the Golden Knights.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
So Kinsley's rode the Zamboni at the ice
so
thing
cute.
at the Golden
That is
Knights.
cute.
And we go to like a lot of the games and have been super involved with the military community here too.
That's great. Well, is there anything else that you want to say before we let you go, or?
No. Man, I'm just super excited. We're going out to Arlington this weekend. There'll be over 2,000 other widows there with us. Everybody goes out there. It's a big thing. So we'll be in Arlington, and we will get to meet some pretty cool people. Gary Sinise will be out there, and President Trump will be out there honoring all the widows at Arlington. So we will have quite a weekend out there, Kinsley and I.
Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story and, just being so open with us. Yeah.
Thanks for remembering Mike. He is our hero. So we love sharing about his story and always want to remember him.
For sure. He really is a hero. Thank you so much. And thank you for his service and your husband now for him for protecting and serving our country.
Absolutely. Thanks for remembering them.
Yes. All right.
Well,
thank you.
Have a nice day.
Yeah. Take care.
Thank you, Abby.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Abby is so strong. Like, honestly, I don't know how I could handle that,
I just kept thinking, like, okay, so he died when her child was Emmy's age, right?
Yeah.
And left when she was Bella's age.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, I really can't imagine that.
Yeah, I know. One of the like weird irrational fears that I always go through my head sometimes is like when I'm out of town, I'm like, what if something happened to Tanner if he's out of town? And, and I start thinking of these things, and I know how Emmy would never get to know her father the way I would want her to. But just listening to Abby talk, it sounds like they found like so many beautiful ways for her daughter to remember her dad and just to keep his legacy, you know, living on. And I just think it was so beautiful. And she sounds so strong and amazing. And it sounds like she sounds like she loves the military life, and she seems like she was someone who adjusted well to it, but it sounds like such a difficult lifestyle sometimes. And I just commend all the men and women who are in the military and who have families, you know, that are in that lifestyle. You guys are just incredible.
Well, like she said, she's like, you military wives, like, you know, we're strong, you know, and I'm like thinking like, yeah, you are, you know, it's
and I know
different kind of strength.
I know. And I know if you probably choose, you know, you choose that lifestyle. And when you love someone who chooses to serve our country, you know, you're choosing that. But still, I mean, man, I commend everyone who's in that. And I don't know, I feel really inspired by Abby, because I feel like she shows that there is hope on the other side, and there is ways that you can still let them live on in your life, but you're able to still have your own life afterwards.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. Well, I'm super excited for like this episode to come out, and for everyone listening on Memorial Day, just like as a reminder, just to like take a minute to remember the people who have fought for our country and are doing that. And I mean, it is called Memorial Day, so just remembering that. And like what Deshauna said earlier, like if you can find a way to give back or get involved somehow, definitely look into that. I know I'm going to. I still wish I was in Vegas so I could work with the Folded Flag Foundation here, but I'm sure there's a lot of stuff in Chicago too. So, but
well, that was awesome. Our guests were great. I do want to touch on, I hope everybody enjoys their Memorial Day, but I want to say, you know, freedom is not free. And thank you to all the men and women who choose to protect our country and to protect us and our children. Like, it changed for me what it means to be an American when I had a baby. So thank you to all who make sacrifices, and to the families of those who make the sacrifice too.
Yes, I want to say thank you to my cousin Daniel and my cousin Jonathan and my niece Brooke, who have all served.
Yeah.
And definitely agree with what you said, Jade. I think that that's something that we forget. And when Deshauna was talking about just the problems, I mean, 20 vets commit suicide every single day. And there is a problem. You know, there's people who are serving our country and seeing a lot of things and going through a lot of things, and then they aren't getting the help that they needed. So, like she said, there's so many organizations that you can get involved with. So if you do have the opportunity to do that, I mean, it's really a small price for the price that they have paid for us. So if you do have the opportunity to give back in any way, I would just encourage you to maybe try to do that. Maybe you can create a new tradition that every year, you know, you take the opportunity to get involved. But thank you so much for listening to our episode. Also, just a reminder, you guys can head over to our Facebook group, Babes and Babies, where we are going to be continuing our conversation.
And you guys don't forget to subscribe to Babes and Babies podcast and tune in next week.
Also, remember, you're doing great. You are enough. And if you feel you're going crazy, you're probably doing it right. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you, guys.
Have a happy Memorial Day.
This podcast is brought to you by Wave Podcast Network. Check out all of our shows, including the Brain Candy Podcast, I Don't Get It, Babes and Babies, Coffee Convos, and Let's Talk About It.